Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric and Countdown to Christmas 2021. Today, it's all about key fobs. For those of you that might not be familiar with a key fob, basically it is something that we put our keys on, like a keychain, a key ring, only now we are going to attach a lanyard to it, a strap to it, or maybe just something really whimsical and fun. So today, I am just going to go through a basket. I've been making key fobs for a couple years now. A lot of people got into snap tabs. With the pandemic, there's a number that are designed. Oh, I can pull up my sleeves because it's there. That's a little better. So with the pandemic, a number of people started using more so than in the past, hand sanitizer in carry-on key fobs. So I have a number of different types of key fobs, and I'm just going to grab and go. So the first one I'm going to actually grab out and go is the biggest one I have here. So my husband worked with when he first started out in the military, he was a crew chief on a military aircraft. And one of the things that they always had is these in essence, these ribbons that had kind of a keychain ring on the end, and it always said remove before flight. So a couple years ago, I gave it a try and made him a long one that says remove before flight. And this is how we keep our lawnmower key. You can't lose it if the keychain, the key fob is that big. It makes it a little easier to not have it end up in a pocket where it shouldn't belong. Okay, so the next one, so I'll pull out this. This is a hand sanitizer key fob, and it's just got a little bottle of hand sanitizer in it, and that's really wonderful. But I don't really like the feel of hand sanitizer very much. So what I went with instead is a little key fob. It's got a little paw on the back. But this has a little spritz bottle, and that is 90 proof isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And when I go out and about, and I'm worried about needing to have my hands sanitized after, especially grocery shopping, pandemic or no, grocery shopping and dealing with the chance of running into leaky meat packages, this is really a helpful thing. I always in the past have kept wet wipes in my car. That's just something that I've had the habit of doing ever since my kids were little. It's as much for me as it ever was for my kids. I hate having sticky hands. And that's the thing with hand sanitizers, is for me, hand sanitizer always leaves my hands feeling sticky. So I found isopropyl alcohol to be wonderful. I spritz a bunch of this on my hands, rub my hands together really well, and I feel a little bit safer moving from shopping, especially, to driving. So it's just simply a key fob. It can clip onto keys if you want to, but instead of clipping them on keys, what I do is use the little clip and I clip it on my purse. I clip it on my I like to use I like to use baskets, not baskets like this, more of a softer sided basket. I should have brought one of these in here, but I'll clip them on the side. And so I started making these just to have a lot of fun and to perk myself up, because there's nothing better than on your purse or your bag having something that makes a happy statement. So yes, I'm one of those weird people who will clip happy sayings on the sides of their bags, and that's one that I just did up this year. It could be an ornament, but I want it to be just something happy to clip on my bag when I go out and about. So we have snowmen, This one's actually for my husband. He does clip it on his backpack during winter. I borrowed it so that I could have it in this. Some little gingerbread guys. I do not have fabrics that are gingerbread color. I have fabrics that are chocolate chip color. In fact, every time I see them, I keep thinking I need to go make chocolate chip cookies. I may have to do that later today. Another happy saying. Love life's oddities. Yes, that's actually one of the ones I wear on, I have on my bag all the time. Love life's oddities. That really sums up how I feel most of the time. And I have an affinity for hearts. I'm one of those people too. So I'm not a big pink person as much as I'm a purple person, but it's what I had on hand that day. So I made this one. Smile the clouds away. I know, can be a little, at times, annoyingly sweet, but there are days that we really need happy, positive messages. And in this, the 2020s have so far really been times in which we need happy thoughts being shared whenever possible. Other really simple ones for the Christmas holiday. Joy, key fob, and sometimes just a really simple ornament. So you'll notice most of these are machine embroidery. This has definitely been a machine embroidery day of sharing. But a friend of mine shared some photos of the key fobs she's making, and they're the kind that are, I'll use this as an example. They're a long piece of fabric or ribbon that you can put your hand through and your keys hang off of. I have not made those kinds yet, but in seeing hers, I was like, oh, I really should actually make a few of those as well. They don't really fit for a lot of what we do today, but I would have loved them when I was in college. I would imagine a lot of young people on the go would probably really like them. When I used to run road races, my keys always went with me, and that actually would have been a fabulous keychain for me, a key fob. So the person who shared it, though, she didn't have machine embroidery, she didn't have anything fancy, she just took fabric that she had, she made it into a tube, sewed it flat just like we do for handles on a bag, and she attached a ring, folded the fabric over and sewed down, and made a key fob. So it's a good reminder that, again, if you have the ability to do machine embroidery, wonderful, do machine embroidery. But if you don't, if you're a quilter, you can make little mini quilt blocks and back them and put a grommet through them and attach, just like this, attach a split ring, attach a swivel clasp, and it can go on your keys, and it can clip on your bag, and you're not going to lose them. So whether it is fancy or whether it is simple, I do think it's a great little quick gift. Great stocking stuffers, and great, I like to have, sorry, I have an itch on my eye. I like to have little gifts on hands for when you have visitors just pop in at Christmas. It hasn't been as prevalent in the 2020s as it was before. I'm hoping that it will be prevalent again in the future. But I like to have small little gifts on hand to give out to people who just pop by, people who pay a visit. I will tell you, I made a bunch of these, and let me see. These and these. I made them for my dentist. I made them for or some of them for my dentist's office. I made something like this with a message on it for my doctor in her office. They're really well appreciated. And I don't think we will ever go wrong giving a happy message to these people who take care of us, even most especially during tough times like this. My dentist was pregnant during the onslaught of the pandemic, and I just was so amazed by her professionalism and her perseverance in keeping herself safe, in keeping her expectant baby safe, and in keeping her patient safe. And I know that many of us struggle to just even wear a mask. I get really hot in the mask, and so I wear them when I go out, because it is important. But when I saw her wearing full protective gear in order to keep herself safe, to keep her baby safe, I just had the utmost respect for what she was doing, because I needed a lot of dental visits during. I finally decided that I needed to have some. I have partials now, and of course it was something that I knew I needed to go towards. I had some issue with some teeth that it was just better to not save them as opposed to try to save them. One of the things that my series of health issues has done is it wasn't the reason that the teeth went bad. That was that was soda machines on the family farm and too much soda when I was younger. but I'd done everything I could to try to keep my teeth healthy in my adulthood. But a lot of the old crowns, a lot of the issue that I had, they had a life limit. And one of the problems that we have with my health issues is I have a lot of pain in my teeth at different times, and it would lead to really bad headaches. And it wasn't because of anything necessarily wrong with my teeth. It was because of the pressure in my mouth. And so I was not somebody who could look at a lot of the new ways of prolonging the life of teeth or replacing teeth. So I made a choice to get partials in 2020. And mainly because one of the teeth closer to the front, it just had to go. It was the options just weren't there for someone who suffered from some of the issues that I have. So, and I haven't really shared this, not many people know, so now it's out there for everybody. But that meant a lot of visits to the dentist. And it meant a lot of visits to the dentist during a time in which I was really trying to not be out and about. So I was so relieved when my dentist they figured out what they had to do in order to be open, because our state had very specific requirements in place. And so I was just amazed. I was just amazed and have the dearest and deepest respect for my dentist, because in full gear, she continued to work, and she continued to work with, I'm sure, a smile on her face behind all of the gear. But it was always such a joy for me, and she was helping me with something I really needed. I was doing these videos at the time, and I was very self-conscious about my mouth. And if you are careful and look in some of my earlier videos, you might see one of the missing tooth that was the catalyst for me. I was very self-conscious. In those early videos, I was very careful. I made sure to not have my head a certain way. I went out of my way to not want to bring tension. I didn't want to smile. I didn't want it noticed. It was a tooth that's far enough back that it's not right in the front, but it was close enough that if I really smiled, I could see that it was missing. And so it was very emotional. And when I went to those appointments, it was really emotional, because this was almost 40 years in the progress for me. I knew by the time I was 12 years old that my dentist, when I was 12 years old, my mom, they kept telling me that I was going to have dentures, because all of my back teeth grew in, all my permanent back teeth grew in with holes in them. And back then there just wasn't as many options. And I had problems with my teeth really from the time I was 12 years old. And I had pain in my mouth, and I had headaches associated with the huge fillings that I had in my mouth. And so I was very fortunate with a fabulous dentist when I was still, the last years I was in Colorado, that helped me and really helped me feel better about myself as teeth just wore out. But the dentist here, she really was an angel to me, because I was going in week after week getting different things done and getting these partials put in. I was so we were going cautiously. We were going to just do the upper ones, and I wasn't going to worry because you couldn't really see any of the missing teeth in the bottom. And I was so happy. I was so happy when I smiled that I immediately set to get my bottom ones done. So I was seeing her all the time during the height of the earlier days of the pandemic, going into Christmas 2020. This was my Christmas present to myself. And so anything I could do to try to give back, to say thank you, I wanted to be able to do that. And so something as simple as this was just the least I could do to say thank you to such wonderful people who helped me feel better about myself and helped me feel comfortable continuing with something like these videos. So if you have people like this in your life, and you have the ability to make them a small token of appreciation, this does not require an embroidery machine. This doesn't require anything fancy. You can do this with a sewing machine. You can technically do this with felt and a needle and thread. It is a snap. It is a piece of vinyl in this case. You could do it with felt. You can buy these little bottles online easily. You can fill them with isopropyl alcohol. There for a while, you couldn't find this stuff, but it is available again. Seriously. It is a simple token. And if you have the ability to say thank you in some small way to these people who help make our lives better, I recommend you do it, because it will make you feel so much better this holiday season to be able to give back. So that is my message for today and my project. Simple little key fobs go a long way. I hope you have a wonderful day and can take some time to unwind with fiber and fabric, and we will see you again tomorrow.